regularly? Really? Nobody? All right. You're probably accustomed to two things. The delightful rhyme bunt. And maddening tales of waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, tonight we have a tale so wasteful, so fraudulent, so abusey. You can't hate the player, you can only punt the game. Why would I say that again? That doesn't belong there. It makes no sense. Just go to it.
This is the case of John Beall, who was the highest paid EPA official there is, and one of its top experts in climate change, who has now admitted through his lawyer that he did absolutely no work for years by telling his bosses he was doing undercover work for the CIA. It turns out he had no affiliation with the CIA whatsoever.
I got my cap to you. This is amazing. What a delicious stew of government bugaboos. No-show job, a climate change guy, lack of oversight, just a soupçon of brazen fraud. But you say to me, well, yeah, okay, it's interesting. It's a good story. I'm looking in the direction of this story. Hook me.
He told his bosses that he was working undercover for the CIA, spending a lot of time in Pakistan dealing with the Taliban. In fact, investigators have now discovered he was actually at home in Northern Virginia riding bicycles, reading books.
This is what's so wonderful about this story. This man is a liar and boring as f***. That is what's so fascinating here. It is an amazing fraud perpetrated by a guy so he could do things we only do when we've run out of other things to do. I will commit fraud and then read a book. Maybe ride a bike. There's nothing on television. Then I'll make some juice from concentrate. I don't know. So again, it's incongruous, brazen criminal, ordinary life. He's the secret life of Walter. You know, take it up a notch. For instance, give us some tiny perk whose benefit is dwarfed by the dickishness required to procure it. How far would this man go to get how little?
Beall got a coveted parking space by representing that he had malaria.
Malaria! Malaria! He has told people he has malaria so that he may park closer to the job he does not show up. And pray tell, how did this gentleman contract malaria?
Malaria, contracted while he was serving in Vietnam.
I almost hesitate to ask, but...
He didn't have malaria, and he'd never been to Vietnam.
Exactly! No! I scoff at your booze, and in fact say yay. Seems like Beall didn't need to go to all that trouble. He could have gotten a handicapped parking space for a legitimate medical reason, his gigantic balls. I'm sure his boss would have said, hey, don't worry about parking, just drive up on the sidewalk. I don't want you to have to drag those magnificent testicles on the asphalt. Now I could go on. I could talk about how John Beall retired from the EPA, yet convinced them to continue paying him because his CIA work was ongoing. Or how he made the EPA fly in first class all the time because he had a bad back. Again, I'm assuming ball related. Or we can talk about the retention bonuses they paid John Beall, lest he leave and not show up at a different job. But that is not what elevates this story from the ridiculous to the sublime. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you former EPA Air Policy Office Director Robert Brenner. He's been a friend of Mr. Beall's for over 30 years. He recruited Mr. Beall to work at the EPA, and this is how his trust and support was repaid. He has got to be furious.
When's the last time you saw him, besides today? I've seen Mr. Beall periodically over the last, well, actually, I've seen him a lot over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, sure, a lot over the last 2 weeks. I mean, I can imagine because of coincidental courtroom run-ins and that sort of thing.
Because he had rented out his house in Arlington, he's staying in my guest room now.
And that, my friends, the prestige. Enjoy.
He's staying in my guest room now.
Mr. Chairman, this is just an unbelievable story. I yield back.
Holy this guy Beall! This is amazing! This guy Beall just broke the House Oversight Committee. Look at Chaffetz's face. He can't even take it anymore. Chaffetz is like, I'm sorry, guys, I got to tap out. Lucky for him, though, someone else is ready to tap in, baby.
Beall is staying in. Wait a minute. I know I didn't hear that. Beall is staying in your guest house?
Mr. Cummings, Mr. Beall needed a place to live in the area.
Are you married?
The area.
Your wife agreed to that?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Suddenly, for just that one brief, miraculous, shining moment, Democrat, Republican, white, black, all believed in Santa again. For more, we're joined by senior Washington correspondent John Oliver. John, thank you so much for joining us. What an incredible story!
John, that story is amazing. Not so much that John Beall did it, but I think that maybe that he got away with it. The key question here is, how on earth did all those people fall for all that CIA bull?
No idea. There's no idea.
How could he possibly have been a covert operative in Pakistan, John, when his Native American background expressly forbids him from being deceptive? Or crossing big water?
Wait, what? No. Native Americans can cross big... He's not Native American.
Whoa, I'm sorry. He's not Native American, John?
No.
He's the great-great-grandson of Sitting Bull.
John, that sounds like another lie.
Oh, really, John? Well, if I guess that's a lie, then this is probably just some cheap costume from a Halloween shop and not a priceless tribal heirloom that Beall gave to me out of the kindness of his Cherokee heart.
No, but that... First of all, Sitting Bull...
I guess it's all a lie to you, isn't it?
Sitting Bull wasn't Cherokee. He was, I think, Lakota Sioux. That's got a price tag on it. So I don't...
Apparently his people use every part of the merchandise.
But he's lying to you. I can't even figure out why Beall is lying.
Exactly. Why would he, John? Why would the 1983 Wimbledon champion have to lie? He doesn't, John. He doesn't.
John McEnroe won Wimbledon in '83.
Oh, please. So now you're just going to believe everything that John McEnroe tells you, John. I happen to have John Beall's Wimbledon trophy right here. So there.
That's a Dixie cup.
Excuse me, John. I'm British. I think I'd recognise the Gentleman's Singles Championship trophy, John.
So what else did Beall tell you? What else did this guy tell you? That his urine tastes like champagne?